Hi, this is Shahzad Alana, and today's topic is business activity. In this topic, we are going to discuss the concept of needs, wants, along with scarcity and the opportunity cost, then the division of labor and the specialization and its importance. Then we will discuss the purpose of business activity, and in the last, we will discuss the concept of added value. If we discuss about the basic economic problem, the basic economic problem has two concepts. One is the wants and the second is the needs. That is, need to be understand. First, let's talk about the needs. Needs are the necessities and the essentials without which we cannot live. For example, food, clothes, and shelter. The other things are wants. Wants are actually the desires which people would like to have, but that are not essential for living. For example, car, a big house. To satisfy these wants, the resources are limited, and that arises the concept of scarcity. That means the resources are limited and the wants are unlimited. So we have to make choices. For example, if I have 1000 rupees in my pocket and I'm going to buy a certain shirt, now I have an option. I want the shirt and the pant both. I want a jeans and I want a shirt as well. Both cost say 1000 for shirt and 1000 for the jeans. Now I have only 1000 in my hand. I have to make choice. Either I go for a shirt or I will buy a jeans. This gives the concept of opportunity cost. So basically, the opportunity cost is the next best alternative foregone. As far as the opportunity cost is concerned, if I consider the example that I gave you, if I go for the shirt, then the opportunity cost of having that shirt is the jeans I foregone. There are two sorts of goods. One is economic good and the other is free good. Free good that are available in abundance and the demand is less than their supply. That means we are not going to pay any amount for those that are free. For example, sunlight, the water in the sea is in abundance, right? The air. But for economic good, the demand is more than their supply. That means obviously the wants are more than the resources. So that gives rise to the price concept. That means those goods which has a higher demand and less supply will have some amount that is required to pay for it. And that is why it is known as economic good. For example, the same air or same oxygen that you can have around you, but if you could have that in the cylinder in the hospital, in the oxygen cylinder, so you will be charged for it. Similarly, the water is in abundance, but if you can have it in a mineral water bottle, you have to pay for it. Then we have the concept of factors of production. Factors of production here, as per the Adam Smith, it's the production of wealth. So by that means we can produce wealth or we can have income by four sources or four factors. The one is land. Land includes all the natural resources that is around us. We can say the example, if we talk about the fields, forest, we can talk about metals, mineral resources, all these belongs to nature. So these all natural resources are the part of land. Similarly, if we talk about the labor, it's the number of people that are available to make the product or to provide the services. The labor could be a skilled one or unskilled one. any person who do work for salary or wage, both are considered as labor. Then we have the third category, that is capital. These are the man-made resources that can be used for further production. That includes machinery, tools, building, even the finance required to have that. Then we have the fourth category, that is entrepreneur or entrepreneurship or organization, that combines the other three factors, that are land, labor, and capital, in order to produce goods and services and earn some profit. For land, we have two options: either we can use it for our own business, or either we can give it on rent. The other is labor. For that, we can have wages or salaries. The next is capital. For that, we get interest. And for the entrepreneur, whatever service he is providing or the goods he is making, he is charging profit. So we talked about the opportunity cost previously. If we talk about the opportunity cost in a bit detail, for an individual, obviously the income is limited and he has an option. He can go for a holiday or he can buy a car. Similarly, the business also has some limited resources. So he can have a machine A or machine B, or we can say a project A. He could invest in project A or project B or project C, right? Because of the limited amount of finance available. And then lastly, even though the government has a limited resource, they can go for investment in education or investment in healthcare or some administration services, right? Then we can discuss about the concept of division of labor. Now, as far as the division of labor is concerned, it's actually the division of work between the workers in order to increase the efficiency and the productivity. What are the advantages we can consider? Before advantages, if we talk about the particular definition, or we can express division of labor as it's a project if the production process is split into different tasks and each worker performs the task in a way that make him specialized in doing it. What are the advantages we can consider? Firstly, the worker will get trained and get specialized, which will increase the efficiency and decrease the per unit cost of the company or the organization. Then obviously less time will be wasted that is required in the movement, right? And the production output will also increase. It's a quite quicker procedure and it would be quite cheaper to train workers, as very few amount of skill is required to do a job. Disadvantage could be worker can become bored and they will be less efficient as the time passes. That means the efficiency might fall. The other thing could be if one worker is absent and no one else can do the job, production might be stopped. This division gives rise to the specialization. Now, if we talk about the specialization, what specialization is? Specialization occurs when people and the businesses concentrate on what they are best at. For example, you can see doctor as a professional, he has a vast experience along with the knowledge. Similarly, the mechanic doing the same task, he gets specialized. farmer, or even cashier. They all are specialized in their field by doing the same work again and again, and that is due to the division of labor or division of work. The last concept what we are going to discuss in this video is the concept of added value. Added value is simply the difference between the selling price of the product and the material cost. It is quite different from the profit in terms that we are not considering here the total cost of producing that good. For example, if I buy a plank of wood, say for 1000 rupees, and I use that plank of wood to make, say, a sofa, and I sell it for 5000. So what will be the added value is the selling price, that is 5000, less the material cost, that is the cost of plank of wood, that is 1000. So the added value would be 4000. But if I consider the expenditure that is required due to the labor and the other expenses, the petty expenses or other utility expenses even, then if I subtract the total cost from the selling price, that would be profit. So there is a difference between the added value and the profit. So its added value is simply the difference between the selling price and the cost of bought in materials and components. Now, why added value is important? Obviously, if there are some added value, that means there is a chance you can cover or you can pay other costs as well, the management expenses or some advertising and power expenses maybe. Then added value shows there is a room to make some profit. There are two important ways in which we can increase the added value. One is by increasing the selling price, by providing a good quality, making some brand image, by good advertisement. We can charge more selling price, and by reducing the cost of material by bulk buying or by finding some supplier who is supplying the material at a cheaper rate, but obviously the quality should not be compromised. So that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and obviously share with others. Thank you.